like pass this stimulus package so that I know that I have, my unemployment still coming in. But it takes so forever for this crap to get done. But that's an entire another podcast.
What it's worth, I did read somewhere recently that if everything goes smoothly, we'll probably have the checks by tax season. So I'm assuming that means the beginning to middle of April.
Great. It's March, guys. March. And it's so, like I said, it's just, Frank Zappa said it many, many years ago. Democrat means shoot yourself in the foot. Yeah. So, anyway, unfortunately, the poor condition segment of the show is that doesn't look like San Diego Comic-Con is happening. They just and I think it's a good idea for them to cancel it. I know it'll be the second year in a row that San Diego has gotten canceled, and it's still the largest convention in the world of any kind. And I know, I've still never been, believe it or not. But I have friends who make the pilgrimage every year. But trying to pull that off in July is just it's not happening.
Well, and it's so big, right? I mean, isn't it like something like 4,000 to 7,000 people go or something like that?
It's San Diego. From what I understand now, New York claimed they had more numbers, but that's more total ticket sales over a total of 4 days.
Okay.
Single ticket sales. Javits Center right now, they're expanding it, but the Javits Center in New York only holds 45,000.
Okay.
From what I understand, the San Diego Convention Center holds over 100,000 people at once.
Wow.
From Hall A to Hall H is almost a mile walk.
Oh, my God.
It's huge. It's ginormous. And like the Javits Center, people see the Javits Center and like, it's big, but the way the Javits Center was designed, they designed it with all these multiple levels and this, that, and the other thing, rather than just making two gigantic, huge floors.
Right.
And, but they've been working on it for the last couple. And, Javits was built by the mob, too. It's all it's so ridiculous, the history of that building. When I was a contract, doing contracting and stuff when I was a kid, I worked for a company that did chain link fence installation and custom gates. And we weren't a union shop, but we'd get hired to do union gigs because there was nobody else around that did what our company did. Mm-hmm. And, you could always tell when you got a union laborer from the Javits Center because you'd ask him to give you something, and he'd be like, hey, do me a favor, give me that shovel bit for the punjar. And the guy'd be like, what? That thing that looks like a shovel that attaches to the gas-powered jackhammer that I'm reading that has the word punjar, which is the name of the company on the side of it. That like every contractor in the world knows what this thing does, guy. And you'd be like, all right, let me ask you something. Where do you normally work? Oh, I'm over at Javits. And the immediate response would be like, all right, this is what I need you to do. I need 3 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. I need 2 coffees, light and sweet. And that they would never fuck up. You give those guys a coffee order, they'll get it done. But other than that, it was just, so many guys who just obviously showed up for a paycheck. And so yeah, unfortunately, no San Diego Comic-Con, but looking very likely that we're going to have New York Comic-Con and Baltimore, knock wood. Now, let me ask you, now, Scares That Cares, I would assume, is not going to happen in 2021, right?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think that I think that Joe would like it to happen. Joe Ripple is, the one running. I think he would like it to, but I know that Joe is very, very aware of being responsible for, the safety of the staff, the safety of, people going.
Well, he's a long time, he was in law enforcement for a bunch of years, Joe Ripple, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's, I think there's still some question. Part of it, I know that there have been conventions that are supposed to take place afterwards, which have canceled. I think 2021 it's going to be like that kind of up in the air year, even more so maybe than last year, because I think that last year at some point people thought, yeah, this pandemic's not going to be over anytime soon. It's just safer. It's a safer bet to cancel everything for the rest of the year. And this year, since people are getting vaccines, I think, some of it's going to depend on, the percentage maybe of the population that's had them by then. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Stokers just announced, right, that they're going to go virtual this year.
Yeah. The Stokers said they were going to go virtual this year, yeah.
And I want to say, I think either KillerCon or Nikon, one of them, I think, said that they were going to go virtual, and they're, I think, after scares. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. I mean, for me personally, I don't know how comfortable I would be even by July, only because I think at this point, so many of us have been conditioned, not to leave the house without a mask, not to and parties and to be social distancing and stuff. And I think it's going to take a while for people to be comfortable enough, even if they I got my first vaccination today.
Oh, Mazel Tov! Fantastic, good for you. I'm waiting.
Yeah, and a lot of people are still on the waiting list. I know Brian's still on the waiting list.
New York, I've been approved, but there's no vaccinations available in New York until I think they said April 16th was the last time I checked. Oh, unless I wanted to drive up to Potsdam, which is 300 miles north of Montreal.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, New Jersey's moving it very, very quickly, and even though I'm living in Pennsylvania, since my primary care physician is still in New Jersey,
yeah,
I went through his medical company, the medical group that he belongs to, and New Jersey is moving people pretty quick. They're very efficient. I went to what they called a mega site today, and they moved me. I mean, the Army was there, National Guard was there, the police were there, FEMA was there, and it was really kind of cool. Sort of this almost like this post-apocalyptic thing in like an old
George Romero movie
years. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like almost like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We're in this like cattle chute of, what they have at the airport with the band. So they're moving us through that. But they were very efficient. I mean, they kept things moving. I think the whole thing maybe took me like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And that was including that's not including, I guess, the 15 minutes that they make you sit and wait to make sure you don't have any bad reaction to the vaccination.
Yeah.
But it was very efficient. New Jersey's moving very quickly, which it's good to see because New Jersey's, so densely populated that
it is. And I got to tell you, the new governor there is really doing a great job. God bless him, man. He really is.
He's on top of that. And Pennsylvania, though, I mean, Brian, I think registered maybe like a good month or two before I did, and he's still waiting.
Ugh,
and
God.
He's in a higher risk category, because he's got heart issues and high blood pressure.
That's why I got approved. I got high blood pressure. I'm fine. I'm on meds for it now. Yay, 50 years old. But one thing I have to say about the state of Pennsylvania and other than with, bullshit voter suppression and stuff, which happens all over the country, Pennsylvania is really showing itself to become a very, very progressive state. I mean, it is consistent. It is consistently purple, if not blue.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the, the good old boy types in Pennsylvania, they've all got kids who are grown up now.
Yep.
And those kids want to be able to marry who they want to marry. They want to be able to dress the way they want to dress. They want to be able to, they want to be able to go, get out of college and get a decent job where they can buy a home, you know? And, I particularly like John Fetterman, the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania. I mean, he is just absolutely spectacular. And he's running for Senate. So, are you familiar with Lieutenant Governor Fetterman?
Not really. I mean, that I even know who the governor of New Jersey was when I was living here is like a big thing. I'm not great with politics, but I do know what you mean. I know that like for a while, Pennsylvania was only blue on the two ends where the big cities were.
Yeah.
But it's moving, I think, steadily inward. And I think you're right. I think it has to do with, new generations having more access to more kinds of people and understanding and experiencing the feelings of other people. And also I think it has to do with jobs. Like where I am right now, like where I'm living now, it's, I think, still primarily a red area, but it's also a lot of retirees, and it's people who don't need to worry about so much about getting out and getting a job and interacting with the world. Like it's literally people who are perfectly content to be in their own small little, slice of America and be done with it. So I think it has to do with a lot with the more you interact with the world, the more you see the need for certain things that I think Pennsylvania is making that shift,
Yeah, definitely. What I was going to say is that, but Fetterman, if you might see him on the news, he's 6 feet 8 inches tall.
Oh my God.
Bald, has a little chin goatee. Very rarely, if ever, wears a suit. But he's the guy who's been flying the LGBT flag and the legalized marijuana flag outside of his office.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a really interesting character. He was the mayor. He got into politics. He's a Harvard grad. And I forget what stand-up comedian it was, but they said he looks like the guy that murdered a prison guard to steal his uniform and escape. So he started out as mayor of Braddock, which is a borough of is a suburb of Pittsburgh. That was the poorest city in the state when he took over as mayor. And he helped revitalize the city. He saved one of the original Carnegie libraries, started a hydroponic municipal food garden, brokered a peace treaty between the Bloods and the Crips.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really something interesting. He's a really interesting character. And now he's running for Senate. He's lieutenant governor, but now he's running for Senate. But yeah, he's the first politician other than AOC I've donated to, and probably my entire adult life.
I commend people who can get those kinds of things done, especially in any kind of political machine, because I feel like no matter what your intentions are, the nature of the machine is to try to bring you to a grinding halt. So I'm always impressed, especially when I feel like it's one of the good guys that actually gets stuff done, that help other people and bring a little bit more fairness and equality to the rest of the country. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I get upset when people say stuff like, "Oh, politicians are the same." It's like, no. Congressman John Lewis was not the same as every other politician. Shirley Chisholm was not the same as every other politician. I don't think Bernie Sanders is the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very, honestly, I think it's a very difficult job, like and it could be a naive point of view, because like I said, I admit that I don't know enough about politics to really hold an intelligent discussion. I am aware of this as a, I don't know, possible flaw in my character, or blissfully ignorant, characteristic of mine. But short of being, say, like a queen where I can send dragons out to burn all of my enemies, I think it would be very difficult to be the leader of an entire country, because really, no matter what you do, you're going to be criticized. And on top of that, you have to make some decisions which not everybody is going to understand, even if they are in the best interest of the most amount of people. And I think that's got to be a lot of pressure. I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely being a powerful politician is definitely a very, very difficult job if you're going to do it well.
Yes.
And do it honestly, you know.
Yes.
I mean, because it's pretty obvious that Lindsey